Hello everyone, and welcome to Part 2 of the Beginner's Handbook of World of Warcraft. In the last section, we covered the lore leading up to the World of Warcraft, as vaguely as possible so as not to make a several hours long video. This episode will have two parts in it, the first being the lore in World of Warcraft leading up to Legion, but not including Legion itself. As Legion has a high saturation of story in it, I don't want to ruin it for those who haven't seen it, and those who don't care, well, don't care. It is also worth mentioning that, as World of Warcraft is not quite so straightforward in its narrative as its predecessors, there is no strict timeline except for which expansion the actions are taking place in. As such, I'll be addressing things in a much broader sense, though there are a few novels out there to help put certain events in order. So, without further ado, let's begin with Vanilla World of Warcraft. Okay, so World of Warcraft has a truly massive amount of things actually happening in it. Surprise, surprise. So, I have a super condensed version of the abridged version here, and we'll put the full abridged version in a separate video that you can watch if you're interested.
4 years have passed since the mortal races banded together and stood united against the might of the Burning Legion. Though Azeroth was saved, the tenuous pact between the Horde and the Alliance has all but evaporated. The drums of war thunder once again.
World of Warcraft begins with King Varian of Stormwind getting kidnapped. Anduin is temporarily crowned and Bolvar Fordragon is made regent. The players go on a tour through the world helping people out and cleaning house while tons of stuff happens in the background. Has nothing to do with us because we're adventurers. Then, Magni Bronzebeard hires the players to save his daughter, who was kidnapped by the Dark Iron leader Thorison. We kill him and send Ragnaros back to the Firelands just for the fun of it. Yes, even if you're Horde. The game doesn't care about your faction yet, just roll with it. After that, we kill Onyxia and save Varian. Well, the book says otherwise, but who cares? Then we go back to Blackrock and kill Lord Nefarian in Blackrock Lair. Cthulhu gets loose, and we kill him! Oh hell yeah, killing old gods in vanilla World of Warcraft. Naxxramas wakes up, we kill Kel'Thuzad, and give his phylactery to Inigo Montoya. I am just a reference character, so you know I'm trustworthy. Burning Crusade! We kill Illidan! Turns out it was all Kill Jaden's idea. Whoops. Better kill him too. Not kill, but shove him back into the Sunwell. Wrath of the Lich King! Oh my god, Northrend! Oh my god, Scourge! Argent Crusade! Kill Anubarak twice! Kill Kel'Thuzad again! Beat Death Knight! Garrosh gets put in charge a lot! Okay, that one doesn't go so well. Dalaran! Alliance and Horde Peace Treaty! Wrathgate! Dragon Aspects! Titans! Yogg-Saron! Uther's Ghost! Kill the Lich King! Bolvar is the new Lich King! Woo! Wrath of the Lich King is really one of the first times we become part of the lore and get cutscenes and stuff. And it's so positively received, it's still heralded as one of the best expansions in World of Warcraft. In my personal opinion, it doesn't really hold up today, but that doesn't mean it's bad. Check it out if you're curious. Cataclysm! Deathwing is back! He's blowing up Azeroth! All the elements go nuts! Thrall makes Garrosh Warchief! That just... What? Garrosh proceeds to tear the Horde apart by being an asshole, but some argue that he's a well-meaning asshole? Yeah, okay. Therazane and Neptulon, the elemental lords of Earth and Water respectively, are released from their prisons in the realm of Water and Deepholm, and aid the players in fighting against the cult of Twilight's Hammer. The Twilight's Hammer cult serves the old gods, and are currently helping Deathwing, who has been corrupted by an old god. It's never explicitly said who, but most people agree that it's N'Zoth. Ragnaros and Alakir, the elemental lords of Fire and Wind respectively, now serve the Twilight Hammer, and are killed by the players. This time, Ragnaros is killed for real, and so is Alakir. This would leave the elemental planes of Fire and Wind in chaotic disarray all the way up until Legion. With the elemental lords dealt with, the players are sent back in time to get Dragon Soul, a powerful weapon created by Deathwing in order to destroy Deathwing. The Infinite Dragonflight are having none of this and start causing all kinds of trouble. So, in usual World of Warcraft fashion, we kill their leader and quickly move on. The final battle with Deathwing ensues, flying on an airship, jumping on his back, and ripping his metal plates off until he crashes into the maelstrom, and you kill him for good. Then, for some stupid reason, the dragon aspects become mortal and begin losing power. The reason we're given is stupid, and yes, I am still mad about it. Miss Pandaria! We go to Pandaria, where, thanks to Yashiraj's heart, whenever someone has a strong negative emotion, they turn into physical monsters. We should have our big Alliance vs. Horde war there. That's a good idea. It was a bad idea! So, Anduin goes on a big soul-searching adventure. Varian and the other Alliance leaders learn to be good leaders instead of just warriors. Garrosh goes crazy bonkers and uses the heart of Yashiraj to ruin a bunch of stuff. Vol'jin leads the Horde rebellion, and it all ends in a cooperative siege of Orgrimmar. Vol'jin becomes the new war chief and decides not to kill Garrosh. It was a bad idea! And Varian declares peace between Alliance and Horde, but warns if Vol'jin fails to uphold honor like Garrosh did, he'll kill the troll himself. Warlords of Draenor. Garrosh goes back in time and changes history so the orcs never join the Legion, and Draenor never blows up. Grom Hellscream becomes war chief of the Iron Horde. Warlords of Draenor is a rushed and fairly crude what-if scenario, and is only important because Thrall kills Garrosh, and feels so guilty about it, Doomhammer doesn't want to be his weapon anymore. In Mythic Hellfire Citadel, we kill Archimonde for good, though the developers openly admit that if they need Archimonde again, they'll happily retcon his death. And the alternate reality Gul'dan is sent to our Azeroth to kick off Legion. Alternate reality Gul'dan goes to the Tomb of Sargeras and does what Azeroth Gul'dan didn't do, and opens a portal for the Legion to invade Azeroth, and thus, World of Warcraft Legion begins! I hope you enjoyed the super abridged version of the events of World of Warcraft, but the video isn't over yet. Next, we'll actually go into the game, and I'll give you some starting tips and a brief how to play tutorial. It is worth noting that Blizzard has like 6 pages of their website dedicated to this exact thing, so that may be worth checking out if this doesn't answer all of your questions. Alright, hello everyone and welcome to the second half of this video. Now we're going to start off going to just a random realm here. When you first log into the game, it'll send you to a random new beginners realm, one that it thinks that you'll like. If you're in the United States, most likely you'll be sent to Dalaran. But I'm just going to go to Airy Peak, why not? So this is more likely the screen that you're going to see when you first open up the game. And it'll send you straight to the character selection screen. We have the Alliance and the Horde, we have male and female, so you just make your character however you want to make it. We'll make a male warrior, just something bog standard. Up at the top we have a class trial. This is new. If you click it, you'll be sent to a sort of a tutorial where you'll be taught how to play like the normal DPS style of how to play your class. Speaking of which, the classes are on this side here, and there are 4 main play styles here. There's Tank, which means you're the guy being hit a bunch, soaking up the damage and protecting people. You're the melee DPS, meaning you're using your melee weapon in order to attack something. There's ranged or magic DPS, which is like the hunter or the mage, wherein you're casting spells or attacking from a distance doing damage. And there's healer, which is you are healing someone. It's usually priest, monk, or shaman or druid. So we're just going to do a warrior here, and we're not going to do the class trial, we're just going to make the character. So we have your basic... The character creation stuff is very basic, so I'm not going to waste any time with it. And then you just put in your name. Dan. And then you enter the world. Alright, so here we are in the game. And real quick, the controls. WASD to move. left-click to select something, right-click to select something with the intent of actually attacking it. You'll notice in the top left corner is your portrait and the selectee portrait. If yours starts to do that little flashy red thing, that means that you're poised to attack it. Down here is the action bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. And then I think it's like the dash and then the plus, just like normal on a keyboard. Here's a quest marker. In World of Warcraft nowadays, if you've played World of Warcraft before, you sort of recognize all of this already. But a few things have changed since Cataclysm. Notably, a few places have changed how they behave. Quests are definitely upgraded now. You'll automatically get a sort of quest helper on the side to help you figure out a quest. And quests aren't just like popping up all over the place anymore. Instead, they sort of follow a storyline mentality where you can get one quest that'll lead you to another quest that'll lead you to another quest. Sometimes you get a whole bunch of quests at once, but most of the time you'll have to complete all of them before you can move forward. Down here we have the page bars. We have character info. It's pretty basic stuff. We have our spell book. Unlike in vanilla World of Warcraft, you don't have to see a trainer anymore to learn new abilities. They'll just automatically be unlocked once you hit that particular level. And we have our different specs. Specializations. It used to be that you had to pay, I think it was like 40 gold in order to swap a spec. Now you can do it whenever you want. And different specs have different aptitudes and different abilities. Like protection, it's built around protecting others, being a tank, whereas the other two are different kinds of melee DPS style fighting. Next we have the specializations and talents. That's where you can choose your specialization. It becomes available at level 10. You'll also unlock talents as you level up. Those are just minute ways of changing how you play. Sometimes they can be pretty major, like replacing a key ability with another key ability, but most of the time they're minor, how you want to play your game sort of playstyle stuff. Next we have achievements. There are achievements in the game. I have a lot of them. Moving on. The quest log, it's part and parcel with the map now. So when we have our map, you can quickly get to this by pressing the M key. Next we have the guild, or guild finder. If you're not in a guild, you can find a guild this way. Usually someone will pester you to join their guild. It's fine. Next is the group finder. At level 10, you can, instead of doing quests to level up, you can instead choose to do dungeons. Quests take you through the storyline of each different zone and area, leading you forward. And up to level 60, it'll do the quest leads to next quest mentality before you move on to the next expansion, which is Burning Crusade, which is actually going back in time, but don't worry about it. Where it sort of becomes more rudimentary, and you have to figure things out for yourself. But you can, instead of doing the story quest-based, you can instead choose to do... Oh my god! You can instead... That's just a mount. It's very scary, though. Okay. But, you can instead choose to do dungeon grinding, which is doing a dungeon after dungeon after dungeon after dungeon, and you can level up fairly quickly that way. It is sort of monotonous, but it is a faster way of leveling up. I suggest stopping, if you're going to do that and skip the story, if you're going to do that, stop after level 70, because after that leads to Wrath of the Lich King, where the quests start to get better and the dungeons start to get worse. And Wrath of the Lich King is still good on both sides, but Cataclysm comes after that, where the quests are way better and you start getting a lot of cutscenes, and the dungeons are way, way worse. And that scale sort of keeps on going as we progress until Legion. Next we have the collections. We have mounts, pets, our toys, our heirlooms, which are gear that helps us level faster. If you are an experienced player and you just want to make a new character, you can get these to level up faster. Appearances, which is gear looking stuff that you've found, you can go to a transmog area and you can have your current gear changed to look like it, and you can sort of dress yourself up. This is all new stuff. Back in the day, you used to have all of this crap in your bags or in a bank. Now they have a separate tab for it, and it's nice. Finally, there's the adventure guide. Now, guys, please, please, please do not underestimate the adventure guide. If you are doing quests, the adventure guide will help you, because when they did this new quest system in Cataclysm, they assumed you were just going to go quest after quest after quest. But if you over-level an area and want to move on to the next area, where's the starting quest? Well, the adventure guide will tell you exactly where that starting quest is. In fact, it'll automatically give it to you so that you can report to the starting area. And you can get moving and do the story. So if you ever get lost, use the adventure guide. The adventure guide will also keep you up to date with new stuff that's going on. It'll also tell you new dungeons that are available to you. It'll tell you what sort of legendaries you can expect at max level. It'll tell you sort of events that are going on right now, because the calendar is always changing. There's all kinds of new events going on. The adventure guide will keep you up to date. So please, please do not forget about the adventure guide. It is actually a lifesaver. Finally, we have the shop. If you want to spend real money on stuff, it's cool. WoW tokens are, instead of paying $15 or $12 a month to play World of Warcraft, you can grind up in-game gold and buy another month, which is pretty cool. And finally, it's the options and the help menu and all that sweet stuff. So that is basically how you play all the way up until Legion. So leave you to, like, every class is different. You'll get the hang of it. Good luck. Goodbye, everybody. Next episode, it'll just be some advanced tips for people who have gotten high level and me more or less gushing about the game. So look forward to that. Bye, everybody.